Welcome, Minneapolis junior, senior, high school fans. It's time for volleyball here in Salina at the Sacred Heart Gymnasium. Dale Leach and Mike Perry here set to bring you the action tonight, the varsity competition against Sacred Heart on 910KINA.com, worldwide internet, and Eagle Communications Channel 8 live. And then we'll have tape replay always on Channel 13. Glad you could join us here this evening on another beautiful Indian summer afternoon, I guess you could call it, Mike.
Late summer. Beautiful day.
Beautiful day, just gorgeous. Sacred Heart Knights, we beat them last year, but gosh, that was the first time since they came back to the NCAA, I think, that we'd beat them, if I'm not mistaken. And then they went on to win the league by one game over us because we lost to
slipped a couple other places instead and came up on the short end. Minneapolis should have been vying for the league championship in volleyball last year, returning 5 or 6 starting players in the rotation. Coach McCulloch has 4 or 5 that played quite a bit last year. It's a 4-2 offense with primary setter being Kelsey Page, but Allie Steinbrock will set from the middle position when necessary, and Mackenzie Mortimer moves into a starting role in the middle. So a couple of new faces, but nevertheless, a very potent attack with Frazier and Baker hitting from the outside as they did last year, and Crossan playing in the other middle position will score quite a bit from that area, along with Allie Steinbrock, one of the more consistent servers all year long for Coach McCulloch. Plays rather well in the middle and scores effectively at the net. So Dale, I look forward to a pretty exciting volleyball season for Minneapolis. Paige, the primary setter. Ashlyn Macy will be the libero, will come in. And the supporting cast is makes Minneapolis a fairly deep team and one to be reckoned with as they shoot for the league championship. Excuse me, as it is Tuesday night here in the Sacred Heart Lady Knights gym. It's their home opener volleyball. Minneapolis had a quad at home against, I knew Clay Center was one of the opponents, and we came up short against them, and I was told we should have won that one. Anyway, girls are looking forward to starting league action here tonight against the Lady Knights.
I'll be right back.
Dale's going to exit stage right, so I'm going to have to babble on. Coach Mack and has been our volleyball coach for quite a few years. Runs a very effective offense, and with the girls able to hit from the outside with Baker and Frazier, makes it even more potent. So we're looking forward to this season, and we're getting ready to start here in just about a minute as Dale headed off somewhere. Anyway, Mortimer moves into the middle row position vacated by Connor Fulton, and Baker will move into the outside hitting position vacated by Shay Shoemaker. So they don't drop off much. The effectiveness of the girls at the net is what counts. Baker has the ups to get up in the air and hammer that thing down, and Kara Frazier played that position last year, so we have experience. I think this year we're going to see a lot of experience from our setting position. I think Page and Steinbrock both having another year under Coach Mack's system here will be more effective with their sets. And on the offensive end, maybe throw in a couple additional plays that we didn't have last year. Sacred Heart starting a couple of the seniors, starters from last year, and a couple of them are on the bench, and I think we have some disciplinary stuff going on. So 3 of the girls will not start. Loss will not start, along with another one of the starters. So the Lady Knights a little bit short-handed. It'll be a good night for the Lady Lions just to pound them. And I look forward to putting the pedal to the metal and not letting up here tonight. Sacred Heart, I think, has played in a quad or a try already this year, and I can't tell you how the outcome of that was, but we're just about a minute away from the first serve. And let me give you the names of the ladies here on the making the varsity trip, who will play quite a bit. Ashlyn Macy, as I spoke of earlier, Riley Baker, Bailey Walker, transplant from Tuscott, is here. Caitlin Steinbrock, Mackenzie Mortimer, J.C. Crossan, Kara Frazier, Kelsey Page, and I'm missing one here. I think that rounds out the varsity girls anyway. As they're warming up serving.
Well, I'm back.
Good.
Ought to be quite a contest. Potentially one of the key league matches of the season.
As Dale mentioned, we clipped them last year and slipped a little bit towards the end of the season with one of the foes. I think Republic County was one of the teams that we...
I think that's the one we split right towards the end of the season with Republic, and that dropped us one match below Sacred Heart. You're right.
Now for the starting lineups. Don't know if they'll announce them now or the second match.
You're going to watch a lot of girls we've seen playing the last 2 years, Mike, as freshmen and sophomores, and now the leadership is on them.
That's right there, and I don't think we have much of a drop-off from last year. We've got the outside hitting capabilities we had last year. Shay has moved on, of course, but she hit mostly. And we've got a couple of very, very good hitters on this team right here with Baker and Kara Frazier.
See, we lost 2 seniors, Shay and
Connor Fulton.
Yes.
Connor Fulton played middle, but Steinbrock was the secondary setter last year, as will be this year. So I look for Minneapolis to be very consistent with Page and Steinbrock with another year under their belt playing together.
One senior starter is Mackenzie Mortimer, number 12. And the rest are juniors.
For the Lady Knights, Caitlin Stein, she's a 5'11" senior. Bonnie Boos, a 5'5" junior. And those are the 2 I know besides Sarah Wilkins, who's a 5'10" sophomore. And the replacement, or the underclassmen that are in there, I'll have to pick them up as they break their huddle. One will be Autumn Slater. Will play middle up front, and Taylor Cack, 5'5" senior. And the other starter will be, or do I have them all?
And we have a quick switch at the end.
Number 10, Palin.
Macy Lavaro comes in on defense.
Sacred Heart will serve first here, and we're underway. The league play for 2010. Steinbrock with the back set, back to Macy from the back row. And not a good pass by Sacred Heart, goes out the back line. And as the scoring goes, 1 point Minneapolis. Rally scoring all the way through. Now Steinbrock as I mentioned, probably the most consistent server all year long. And the outside attack by Slater, and that's a tape shot, lands on our side, point Sacred Heart. Wilkins will probably get the lion's share of the hitting, and we'll just have to see as Taylor Cack with the serve. Macy bumps it over, and the Knights are on the attack. Out the back line it goes, point Minneapolis. Autumn Slater with the big slam from the middle goes out the back, and point Minneapolis. Minneapolis leading 2-1 as Ashlyn Macy serves for the Lady Lions. Here's a set by Page in the middle. Baker comes to the net. It's out of bounds. Nice, good attack by Riley Baker. And it will be point Sacred Heart.
2-all.
And Slater moves back to the back row to serve for the Lady Knights. Steinbrock with a nice bump up to Page. There's a good attack by Crossan, and she's right there at the net to knock it down, as Bonnie Boos was there to try and dig it out, but it was not to be on that one, Dale. Riley Baker moves back to serve for Minneapolis. The bump by Slater. Now the outside attack by Taylor Cack, 5'5" senior, goes in the net. 4-2, Big Blue. Baker with another nice serve, set by Bonnie, and the attack by Sarah Wilkins in the middle scores a point for Sacred Heart. Nicole Palin with a nice serve for Sacred Heart. Back line attack by Steinbrock was decent. Nice stuff there by Crossan and Page. Now the set by Frazier. And that cross court winner is in, right on the line. Point Sacred Heart.
Ties it at 4.
Well, Dale, the opening league football game is behind us, and your thoughts on that? I thought it was a very good game for the guys. Came out on the short end, but thought all in all we played pretty well. Sacred Heart sure had some team speed, didn't they?
Oh, that Diedrich is phenomenal fast.
Back set point is in by Caitlin Stein.
The Knights take a 5-4 lead here.
I was just surprising. They had their two guys that were about the same speed. They were fast.
And unfortunately, one of them went out with a concussion in the second quarter.
Net serve, and the ball goes over to Minneapolis. Point Minneapolis.
Well, as I responded to one of my Facebook buddies last night who asked me what happened, I said, well, overall we played good, but we were snake bit from the get-go.
Backline attack by Sacred Heart. Now Frazier with the offense. It's in there for a point. As Kara Frazier hit the short side of the court for a winner. Looks like Danielle Donmeyer comes in on Sacred Heart's rotation. There's a tape shot. It goes on across as Page with the serve. What a save by Page. Steinbrock could not get to it.
Ties it at 6. Yeah, it was just one of those things that everything that could go wrong went wrong for Minneapolis. The great effort, you know, and Sacred Heart was just the opposite. They put the ball on the carpet 7 times and didn't lose it once. Yeah, it's just...
Back set by Page, the tip by Crossan, and they bump it on over. Now Page again with another back set. Steinbrock, cross-court winner is in. Allie Steinbrock with a nice shot. Scores a point, and Mortimer back in. Libero goes out, which is Ashlyn Macy. So she will rotate with Mackenzie Mortimer when she gets to the back row. Here comes the pass coming over. Mortimer right there for the stuff. Now Page sets Frazier. And Mortimer pounds that one down right in the middle as their pass came over. Point Minneapolis.
I was disappointed we couldn't get a running game going. That's going to have to happen if we're going to be successful this season. I know they were a lot bigger than us in the line, and that didn't help a bit. But the guys get some way figured out to get Jake Eckert freed up, get him loose.
Mortimer pounds one through the block of Stein. Point Minneapolis as J.C. Crossan still serves.
That passing game was just with that big 6'2" target out there, jumping up and getting the ball all the time, running great routes. That was Grayson George. It's fantastic to see.
There's a nice winner as Betty Booz gets Stein set on the outside. Point Sacred Heart. Yeah, I was wondering.
7 serving 9 here. Go ahead.
Dale, the Eckert has got to get a few yards in. There's a lift by Steinbrock as the pass goes astray.
8 to serve 9.
Nice dig by Page. Now she sets it on over Stein on the back road to Booz. And they just tip it.
Miscommunication there. 9-all.
Well, our special teams hurt us a little bit here and there, and
I didn't want to bring that subject up.
there's a left.
Sacred Heart takes the lead again by 1. 10 to 9. What happened?
There's another lift. It was caught on the fingers. Steinbrock could not tip it, and it's called a lift.
11 to 9 now, Sacred Heart.
Mortimer from the outside. That should have been a lift there if they're calling that. So now Page gets Frazier set. In the net it goes. It will be a point, Sacred Heart.
Biggest lead of the match here, 12 to 9.
Coach Mack wants timeout. We'll take one too. Sacred Heart leading 12 to 9. First match of the day. Minneapolis trailing. Sacred Heart serving. We'll be right back.
Let's dial up a word from one of our sponsors.
A car accident? High winds damaged your property? To protect you, the Scott Osherman Agency is the place to go. American Family Insurance has been providing security and peace of mind for over 80 years. Call the Scott Osherman Agency in Minneapolis, your American Family Insurance agent.
Welcome back to Sacred Heart Gymnasium.
Kate Stein still serving for Sacred Heart, and they're leading by 3 here. And we're not getting a good pass from our back row. As Kelsey moves up a little bit. Stein's going to look for a different spot, and she finds it.
5-point advantage now.
Back row has moved up in the middle, but still Ashland's back there, and they're going to get the same spot again. Mortimer's hit goes out the back line, and another point for Sacred Heart, leading 15 to 9.
Get a rally going here.
We need a side out to get this thing stopped here. Minneapolis unable to get an attack going. Now Baker from the back row punches one back to Stein, and she just is able to get it up to Booz, and she just sets it over. Now we attack with Steinbrock, And there's a nice attack by Allie Steinbrock, point Minneapolis. Finally, Dale, we get that side out. Now Frazier to serve for Minneapolis.
10 to serve, 15.
See if we can return the favor. No, we can't. Net serve. Point Sacred Heart. 16-10 now. Palin comes back in the rotation to play the front row as Don Meyer heads to the bench. Betty Boos. Jump serve. Macy's pass is going over, and they're right there to tip it down on our side. 17-10. Macy in the back row passes it up to Steinbrock. Baker with a nice cross-court winner, and Stein unable to handle the hard hit by Baker. Now we've got it back. We need to score some here. Down 6. 11 serving 17. Steinbrock's serve is on the money. Betty Boos has a nice set in the middle, but Slater cannot get it over. In the net it goes. Point Minneapolis. Well, that one lands right in the middle. They're still sorting things out on the defensive side. It's kind of unusual, I think, with as many games as these girls have played together.
18 to 12, Sacred Heart.
Baker flips it on over, and Slater's right there. Now the outside attack by Stein is stopped by Mortimer and Page. Point Minneapolis. Macy comes in. Thank you. Yep, he's consistent with that call.
If he hadn't blown the whistle, I was about to come out of the seat because that definitely was a lift.
14 serving 18. Macy served right on the money. Set on the back row to Stein, Kate Stein, and her attack goes in the net. Point Minneapolis. Now Minneapolis on the move here. Nice serve by Macy. With a nice duff by Crossan.
1-4.
Yeah, I've seen that before, but not called there.
19 serving 15.
Page with the back set. Baker can't get to it as the set was a little bit out of bounds. 20 to 15. Minneapolis gets a little bit closer, and Sacred Heart puts 2 more on the board. Page, Frazier from the back with a nice attack. Now Macy's bumped to the front. Page is there with the nice set to Baker, and she pounds it down for a point Minneapolis.
Well, we're staying within range here. That's good.
Yes.
Not letting it get too far out of hand. 16 to serve 20.
Nice serve by Riley. The attack by Sacred Heart is handled on the back row. Now Minneapolis with a deep attack. Nice save there by Baker. And Steinbrock puts one to the back row. And they're getting it down in front of her back row, it seems like. And Coach Mack wants to talk about it. She's going to call one more timeout. Minneapolis trailing 21-16.
We'll be right back.
Bennett Autoplex supports the Minneapolis Lions. At Bennett Autoplex Salina, you'll find a small-town family atmosphere with great prices on new and used cars, new GMC trucks and SUVs. Serving their customers since 1957, Bennett Autoplex Salina.
CNR Plating and Kevin's crew would like to take this time to thank their many friends and customers for making their business what it is today. CNR Plating, a Lions sports backer, wants to wish the Minneapolis Lions a great season. CNR Plating, a Lions sports backer.
Welcome back to volleyball action. Sacred Heart Gym, Salina.
Rose Whitman, the volleyball coach at Sacred Heart, has been there for a number of years. I couldn't tell you how many, but I think it would be approaching 20.
Well, when she wasn't here, she was at Salina South prior. So she's been around. If I'm not mistaken, Salina South or Central, I think it's South.
Palin to serve. Steinbrock right there. The attack is a decent one as Crossan skies to hammer it down, and Sacred Heart able to bump it on over. And we're called for 4 hits. And the ball right back in Sacred Heart's service area. Palin. Macy right there as Minneapolis back row has moved up. Frazier with a good attack from the outside. Side out to Minneapolis. Donmeyer comes back in. Palin heads to the bench as Kelsey Page serves for the Lady Lions. A decent serve to the back row. Nice stop by Steinbrock and Crossan. Crossan gets a hand on that one now. Set in the middle. And the attack goes in the net. Point Sacred Heart. Side out right here would be big, 23-17. 25's the game, so we got to have this one. Oh, tape shot rolls across and out of bounds as Crossan looked for the cross-court winner.
According to the scoreboard, it makes it 34-17.
That's kind of nice.
Game point here.
Page with a nice set. Steinbrock with the left hand, and nice save by
Lift on Sacred Heart's part.
Oh,
24-18.
good deal.
Or as the scoreboard says,
Thought
34.
they actually could have called that on us also. This one is right, that one is wrong. Crossan cannot afford any mistakes here as Minneapolis, it was match point, or game point, and Sacred Heart puts it away, and that's the way the first game of the first match will end. Sacred Heart winning 25-18. We'll trade sides and come back for game 2.
With them through about 10 points, 10 to 12 points. We had that 2 or 3 point lead at 9. Then they outscored us by 4, and that was about all she wrote.
And we had a little medal breakdown there for about 6 points, and that's what did us in. We'll be back right after this 2-minute timeout.
Welcome back to the gymnasium. We're here for second game of this first match. Seeing if we can make it to where we can make it go to 3 now.
Yeah, we're going to have to, as Minneapolis had a little bit of a mental block there to start with, or right in the middle of that first game. Kara Frazier will lead it off for Minneapolis with a nice serve to the back row. Stein there. That one's out. As Donmeyer tries to put it down the line, and Minneapolis starts 1-0. Net serve. And we haven't served real well either. We've had 4 or 5 net serves. Eddie Boos. Serve is over in good shape. Macy right there. Now the outside set to Baker. It's out. Baker set just about right, but her attack goes out of bounds.
2-1, Sacred Heart.
Running the 4-2 here with Steinbrock the setter right now as Page is on the back row. Mortimer the middle. Baker the outside. Frazier, Page, and Macy will all hit from the back row if set there. So Minneapolis with a potent attack. Nice tip by Alley. And Sacred Heart right there. Nice block by Mortimer. And we get a hand on that one as Mortimer and Steinbrock were right there. Now Baker with a big hit. And the stuff goes out of bounds, saved over there, but then it's ours. It evidently, yeah, well, somebody's in the net.
Must have been.
Thank you.
2 to serve 3 here. I thought that was against us.
Yeah, I did too, and he put his hand down like this, so evidently a Lady Knight was in the net. We'll take it. Boos with a nice set. Steinbrock to Page. Now Baker pounds one through.
Great.
And
it hit the
antenna, yeah.
The antenna going across, I guess. I could see it shaking, so I would have to concur.
The head referee asked the line judge, and yes, she said it did.
4 to serve 2.
Page with the set to Steinbrock on the back row. Nice attack by Alley. Stein tracks it down. And Baker's over the line. Point, Sacred Heart. Set was too close to the net. And Sacred Heart with a 5-2 lead again. Baker with a nice attack. That's out. As Stein tries to put the, Wilkins tries to put the hammer to it, it goes out the back line.
Crossing in for Mortimer. 3 serving 5.
Macy with a nice deep serve. Boos with the back set. Macy's right there. Now Steinbrock. They get a hand on it as it goes across. And now just able to bump it on over. Baker again, this time hits it right through the block. Pounds it down. She can elevate. 5-4. Still having a little trouble with that one. Nice serve by Ashlyn Macy. It's an ace right down the line. They're able to get a hand on it, but we're all tied at 5. Macy.
You said that, didn't you?
That's out. As Wilkins hits one wide, Minneapolis back in the lead. And we need to stay there. That was a little bit of a glitch there, but on the part of Stein. Both girls did a two-handed thing there, 2 hits. At Minneapolis leading 7-5. From the back row, it's an easy one here. Dimebrock out. 6-7. 6 serving 7. Minneapolis leading by 1. Slater with a nice serve. Crossing pounds it across. They're able to get on it. Just tip it on over. Now crossing in the middle. Good.
That was in.
That was called out.
7-all. There we get her back. Justice was served.
He's taking another look at that line. The line judge took another look at it.
We got homered there.
I'm wondering if he knows what the signal is for in. That one's out.
9-7. We were at this point last game in the match.
Boos with a back set. That's in. Donmeyer, no, excuse me, Palin with the cross-court winner, and it's in.
Think she's related to the former vice presidential candidate?
I don't think there's enough H's in there.
Oh.
Isn't there an H in Palin?
Well, the one that was vice president was P-A-L-I-N.
Oh,
Is this
close.
P-A-H-L-I-N?
L-E-N.
L-E-N, okay.
Frazier with a nice attack. Stein's right there. That's blocked, stuffed, but it goes out of bounds on their side. Point Sacred Heart. Palin with a nice serve. Crossan puts one down in the middle, and it's wide open right there as J.C. Crossan hits one in on a nice attack.
10-all.
Kelsey Page to the back row to serve. Tape and drops on our side. Rally scoring point. Sacred Heart 11-10. Lady Knights. Baker catches up to that one. Macy from the back row, it's out. Sarah Wilkins from the service line. Page with the set. Crossan with a big hit. Now Frazier. That's blocked out of bounds by Boos. Mortimer back in.
12-11 Minneapolis.
Crossan with a good serve. Betty bumps it on over. Back set. Dimebrock right there. And the attack is handled on the back row by Sacred Heart. Page sets it on over, and they were right there ready for that. And a lift is called with 2 hits. 2-hand hit.
Macy in for Crossan.
Stein serving for the Lady Knights.
13-11 Sacred Heart. Late signal there, lift called. 14-11 Knights.
Stein still serving. It's a tape shot, goes on over and falls on our side. Point Sacred Heart. And Coach McCulloch wants a quick timeout as Minneapolis finds themselves behind 15-11. We'll take a quick break too. And we'll be back right after, or we can talk all the way through it and tell about all your classmates.
We'll be back. What it is today. CNR Plating, a Lions sports backer, wants to wish the Minneapolis Lions a great season. CNR Plating, a Lions sports backer. City Pharmacy has brought you quality professional pharmaceuticals since 1963. Joe and Amber Wool will help you with your medications, durable medical equipment, cosmetics, gifts, and greeting cards. Your hometown pharmacy, City Pharmacy in downtown Minneapolis.
Well, welcome back to Salina.
Well, as most of you know, we had reunion weekend. The alumni got together, class of 1970. Dale, would that be close to you?
Yeah, and also 1980.
And 1980, which was my sister. So, yeah, we had a lot of people in town we haven't seen for a long time. I'll mention a few names here later on. Stein lining up the service line for Sacred Heart. Page from the back row hits it deep, and Wilkins is there. What a block by Mortimer right there in the middle. Stuff kill right there, and we needed that.
Had two sets of alumni sitting together at the football game, 10 years apart.
Frazier. Sacred Heart able to handle it so far. Page, they do call a lift on Sacred Heart. Point Minneapolis. A couple of the names, I'm just going to mention a couple, but I haven't seen these guys for 40 years. Bob Worthington and Bill Comfort. Bill Comfort would be Rick Comfort's older brother from up at Delphus Way.
He lives in the, I think, the Dallas area. I could be wrong. Bob Worthington lives in Kansas City. No, Bob has been back. This was Bill Comfort's first time to be at a reunions.
Frazier with a nice service. Betty Booth with a good serve. That one was going down the line. Page took it. She thought it was going to probably be close enough to the line, and all she could do was get a hand on it. It went out of bounds. Point to Sacred Heart.
16 serving 14 here.
Betty Booth to the back row.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact numbers. We graduated to somewhere around 55. We had close to 40 between the two nights that were there and classmates. Out of those 55, 7 are deceased, so pretty good percentage that were there. 17 to serve 14 now.
Betty Booth, jump serve, sends it to the back row. Macy right there. Now Baker with the big hit from the outside. Nice stuff by Mortimer. She's had a couple of key stuffs in this game right here, keeping Minneapolis close. Steinbrock now serving. And that's pass goes out of bounds as Wilkins can only get part of a hand on it.
16 to serve 17 here.
Well, I know I haven't seen Craig Jagger in 40 years. He was there.
Oh, he's been around though.
Betty Booth with a nice set. And Macy with a nice dig on the back. Baker with a big hit. Puts Palin down to the floor as Baker with a big O kill right there and sorely needed. Steinbrock still serving. And that's a perfect set. No one there to block as
Sacred Heart with the 1 point lead now, 18-17.
Pounds one down for point Sacred Heart.
Saturday night we had dinner catered by Hickory Hut. Of course, Dale Blake, the owner, is one of our classmates. That was finger licking good, I'm going to guarantee you.
Oh my. Some of the best bone slurping ribs you'll ever.
I was, yes, the ribs were good. They were good.
I'm amazed you can make beans that good.
Yes.
Nice serve by Ashland. The outside attack. And there's a nice dump in by Baker. She comes to the net.
Minneapolis
Hits it over the top.
with the lead, 19-18. They had that new potato that they're serving. That was good, too. I'd never had those before.
Macy with a good serve.
Forgot what he calls them.
Not a good pass as Boost tries to get there. The setter, it goes out of bounds. Point
Kind of a
Minneapolis.
Southwest flavor sauce on it. It was nice. 20-18, Minneapolis. We'll be back for another word from our sponsors.
Eagle Communications, home of ECTV, high-speed internet, 910 KINA News Talk and 99 KG Country, proud sponsors of Lions sports coverage. Listen to the live broadcasts on 910KINA.com or on your local Eagle Cable Channel 8.
Yeah, we were just talking, reminiscing, sharing some different things about people. Somebody zinged Craig Jagger pretty good. Of course, Craig, I don't know how many know, he works for the USDA in Washington, D.C. He was in, seems like he was in Manhattan at K-State for 10 years and then went on to, is it Cornell? No, not Cornell. Syracuse University, I think. Oh. And he was there 4 years, I think, got his doctorate. Somebody piped out of the crowd, said, Craig, you still in college? Everybody got a good laugh out of that, including Craig.
There's a nice dump in by Page. Booth able to get to it, and the set. Macy with the dig. Now crossing. That's almost out the back row, and they recover nicely. That is. Point Minneapolis.
We razzed him for the longest time. It was called him the professional student, you know.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned Randy Day. I haven't seen him, and I still haven't. I didn't get to lay eyes on him.
I hadn't seen him since graduation. Bill Comfort I hadn't seen since graduation.
There's the outside hit. Crossan takes it. Frazier tips it on over. Now at the net, Page right there with the stuff.
22-19, and the Lions are serving. A lot better game here this time.
It's always better when you're ahead. Minneapolis ahead by 3. Baker with the serve. That's down. Nice serve by Riley Baker. Cack. Unable to get there.
Timeout, Sacred Heart.
Coach Whitman's going to call a timeout to ice our server. And we'll be back after this 1-minute timeout.
Where do you go when you need groceries? Jeans IGA, of course. Jeans is proud to be a sponsor of Minneapolis sports and hopes that you'll encourage your children to be as competitive in the classroom as they are in sports. Jeans IGA, a proud sponsor of today's game.
At Lambert Insurance, Kent Lambert can make shopping for insurance easy. With insurance plans changing all the time and costs increasing constantly, getting coverage you need at affordable rates can be a challenge. Let Lambert Insurance in Minneapolis help.
The Minneapolis Junior Senior High School Linebackers are proud to continue their long-term support of the broadcast of the Lions games. Join them as they support student activities and the teachers of MJSHS.
Well, we got the momentum back, Dale, and we need to keep it. Minneapolis leading 23-19. Baker with the serve. It's over in good shape. Not a good pass by Sacred Heart. They're able to send it to our back row. Now crossing. They're right there for the block, and we cannot recover it. Drops on our side. Point Sacred Heart.
Need to get a side out, get this to game point.
Nice dig by Baker on the back row. Now Frazier attack is handled by Cack. Nice stuff by J.C. Crossan.
Game point, 24-20, Minneapolis. Page to serve.
One time, Kelsey, and we'll have this thing knotted up. It's coming over. Crossan right there.
Kaboom!
Boy, pass comes right over the top, and Crossan right there to pound it down. And that's the game. Minneapolis knots this match up. Excuse me.
What happened? They scored Sacred Heart there?
They evidently gave that to Sacred Heart.
That did it. I don't know, maybe did they call her in the net or something?
I think they must have called her over the net. I think, or else Coach Whitman made the call and he responded.
Yeah, well, I won't get into that.
25-21, Minneapolis the winner.
It's a tied match. We'll be back for game 3.
You know, Dale, I thought we would have a lot better football team when you guys were seniors. Orville Clinton, Bud Davis, Brad Palmer. You were on that team, played up front in the trenches and along with a few others. But I always thought we had a powerhouse football team. But
we did. But there's another one of those things. You just got snake bit. It's one of 2 classes, I think, like 2 out of 3 years that were undefeated as 8th graders, and both of them ended up not too great of records when they were seniors. But lost our starting quarterback. Clinton went out with a knee injury. Had some other key injuries. Blake went out. We lost several people. Didn't have underclassmen support that we should have had, numbers-wise. We ended up playing with 17 people, I think, at the end of the season. It wasn't very fun. 1-7-1, but we only got slaughtered in 1 game. So.
Sacred Heart wins the toss. They'll start it off here in the rubber match. Oh, what a save by Minneapolis. I don't know how Steinbrock got there, but she did. It's what it takes, a little bit of extra effort, and we get the point. Allie Steinbrock with a heck of a save at the net, brought it back up, and Mortimer pounds it over. Wow, what a play. One nothing Minneapolis. Steinbrock back to the service line. That one's coming over. Crossing with a big hit from the outside. Sacred Heart right there. Mortimer in the middle. It should have been a 2 hit on Boos, not called. Overpass. They're in the net, or evidently had the lift.
Rose doesn't like it.
She caught it on the net, and it was a lift.
2-0 Minneapolis.
We've seen a couple of overpasses hurt both teams. Baker. That's some power volleyball.
Timeout. Sacred Heart. 3-zip Minneapolis. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors.
At Lambert Insurance, Kent Lambert can make shopping for insurance easy. With insurance plans changing all the time and costs increasing constantly, getting coverage you need at affordable rates can be a challenge. Let Lambert Insurance in Minneapolis help.
The Minneapolis Junior Senior High School Linebackers are proud to continue their long-term support of the broadcast of the Lions games. Join them as they support student activities and the teachers of MJSHS. Go Lions! We're with
3-0 Minneapolis. Steinbrock back service line. Minneapolis with the momentum here. Need to keep it. Macy with a nice dig. Steinbrock with an attack from the back row. Nice block by Mortimer. Now Baker set just right and tips it on over. That's down on their side. Point Minneapolis.
4-0.
Yeah, Palin with a nice hit, but it did not go over. Steinbrock still serving. Overpass. Riley was there, and then their pass goes
Yep, gonna be a 4-hitter.
over, and we cannot get it over. Serve goes out of bounds as Cack cannot find the floor. Point Minneapolis. Nice serve by Macy. Nice stuff by Crossan. There's another one. Nice net play. JC Crossan right there. Nice lateral movement. Quick on her feet for not one but two stuffs on that play, and point Minneapolis.
6th serving 1.
And we have not served well here tonight. (6-2) Minneapolis. Sacred Heart with the serve. Cack. Excuse me, it's not Cack. Frazier leans back and hammers it over. There's a lift.
He's Johnny on spot with that, isn't he? Calling it both ways. So.
Kinda. Slater at the service line for Lady Knights. 3, serving 6. Frazier's pass goes lateral. Mental mistakes have killed us here tonight. There's starting to, that's out. Nice job, Kara Frazier. Good eye for the line and lets it go. It's out of bounds, point Minneapolis.
A run of 3 points by the Knights there. 7-4 Minneapolis.
Riley Baker serving. Almost out. They take it. They just dump it in. Steinbrock with the set. Crossan, it's in.
Well, he did it right that time.
Yeah,
The line judge.
I think
He thought about it the second, but he.
I think Rose Whitman will have somebody else do the line judge next time.
8-4 Minneapolis.
Boos with the set from the back row. What a dig. And we tip it over, but out of bounds. Side out to Sacred Heart. Nicole Palin.
5 serving 8.
Steinbrock sets Macy on the back row. She bumps it over. Free ball for Sacred Heart, and they're set perfectly for Caitlin Stein. 5'11", she'll pound it down every time, set right like that. Point, Sacred Heart.
6 serving 8.
Phelan still at the line. There's a much better pass. Page sets cross, and that's going to get down. Point, Minneapolis. Donmeyer comes in for Sacred Heart. Page moves back to the service line. Nice deep serve there. Nice save by Crossan as it came on over. Good block by JC. And a facial. Catches Donmeyer flush on the snaz, and it drops to the floor. Point, Minneapolis.
That had to hurt.
That
Sting
one
a little
stung.
bit.
Yes. What a hit by Crossan. Here's a set by Stein. Nice net play by the Lions. There's a block by Stein right back down on our side. Point, Sacred Heart.
The Lions leading 10-8.
That pass, we get to it, but it's way out of bounds. Crossan gets there, but the pass goes astray, and Sacred Heart scores a point.
9 to serve 10.
Wilkins still serving for Sacred Heart. Not a good set there, way out of bounds, out past the antenna, and we're all tied up at 10. All of a sudden, that's out. As Wilkins serves it right out of bounds. Well, it'll be tough on the basketball court. 5'11", 5'11", 5'10".
They don't have the speed we have.
That one drops. Point, Sacred Heart.
11 all now. But you never want to discount them. They didn't have a very good season last year, but you don't want to discount them.
Mortimer with a nice attack. It's blocked at the net. And we get a hand on that attack. Baker from the back row gets it over and down. Point, Minneapolis.
12 to serve 11.
Kara Frazier at the service line. Steinbrock with a big, we're in the net.
Coach didn't take care for that, Coach Mack. It's tied at 12.
I didn't either. Betty Boos back to the service line. Jump serve. Steinbrock bumps it up. Baker taps it on over. Sacred Heart right there. Macy. Free ball for Sacred Heart. In the net it goes as Slater cannot get it over. Side out to Minneapolis.
13-12 Minneapolis.
From the outside, Cack has her attack stuffed right back down. Point, Minneapolis. Steinbrock. The outside attack is handled by Frazier on the back row. Now Baker puts one down, cross-court winner. Riley Baker gets set just right away from that net. and she can pound it down. 15-12. Steinbrock with another nice serve there, overpass. Now the set, Baker. Paige Mortimer in the middle, tips it on over. Hits the antenna on the attack by Palin. Point Minneapolis.
16-12.
Steinbrock with an ace right down the line.
Sacred Heart takes the timeout.
Probably our most consistent server last year. Allie Steinbrock at the service line puts Minneapolis up by 5, and Coach Whitman wants a timeout. We'll take one too. Minneapolis leading 17-12.
With you all the way.
It's fast, it's furious, and it's fun. It's Minneapolis Raceway. Minneapolis Raceway has brought you exciting races to Central Kansas and will continue the tradition. Minneapolis Raceway will give you and your family some of the most exciting races ever seen. Go Lions!
R&J Tax Services, the most dependable tax service in Salina, is open every Monday through Friday, 52 weeks out of the year. Have tax questions? Call R&J Tax Services in Salina.
Welcome back. Lions with a 5-point advantage here in the third game of the match. The rubber match, rubber game. See if we can take it home here.
Nice momentum swing there as Steinbrock comes to the service line. Peels off about 5 in a row. Out.
Out.
That's why he called timeout. Break that momentum, and Steinbrock's serve goes out the back line. Cack has the service for Sacred Heart. Page the set. Steinbrock from the back row. It's a tape shot. They're able to get there. Baker, it's good. Riley Baker with a nice attack from the outside. Puts it down, point Minneapolis, and Ashlyn Macy comes in to serve. Minneapolis leading 18-13. Crawls up the arm of Cack there a little bit. Page tips it, back set to Crossan. All she could do is just tip it right in and dumps it right in the middle, point Minneapolis.
It's that beautiful empty space there. 19-13, Lady Lions.
Macy serves right on the money. Nice deep one. Boost. Set. A little bit too far outside and out of bounds, and Wilkins unable to get a hand on it. As Donmeyer comes in for Palin on the front row. Macy serve is just right on the money. Overpass, crossing right there, another one. We need to learn when that second one comes up to bump it straight back up. Sometimes tipping it back over, it ends up in the net. I think we'd have better luck.
14 to serve 20.
Steinbrock just got a hand on it to guide it over to Baker. Out is the call. Coach Whitman's going to substitute again here. Try and slow down the Big Blue attack.
21 to serve 14.
Riley Baker at the service line. It's over in good shape. A little indecisive on the part of the Lady Knights. Now nice serve in the middle. Crossan puts it down. Kelsey Page with a nice set there, and J.C. Crossan comes to the attack zone right there and pounds it down to the back row. Point Minneapolis.
8-point advantage, Mike. Substitutions for Sacred Heart. Slows the game down here. It's not intentional, is it?
I'm sure it is. Baker. Betty Boos with a nice set. And they set Wilkins in the middle, and she hammers one down for a point. Sacred Heart side out 2, Lady Knights. 15 serving 22. And yes, Rose Whitman's trying to slow this game down just a little bit as Minneapolis with the momentum. She wants it back on her side of the court. Nice pass by Baker. Steinbrock from the back row. Her attack goes wide and out of bounds. Point Sacred Heart. We don't want to let them crawl back in this thing.
16 serving 22.
Not a good pass there.
That's the way you let them crawl back in it. 17 serving 22. I shouldn't have brought up her 8-point advantage.
Shouldn't have said anything. Page with a nice set, crossing, and that one's going out. Nice attack by J.C. Crossan in the middle. They got a hand on it, deflected it out of bounds, and it's a point Minneapolis. 23-17, Kelsey Page to the service line for the Lady Lions. Nice deep serve. And the attack by Stein goes right down the middle of our DS's in the back row. Point and side out to Sacred Heart.
Lions leading 23-18. Out. Oh, very good. The line.
She called it out. It was definitely out.
The guy way down at the end called it in.
And then he said, "Oh, I didn't see it, but
I thought it was in." 24 serve at 18, game point here, and match point.
That is out.
Too much oomph. Yeah, I'd say that guy might be out of his dimension here. I'm not sure.
Wilkins. Stein with the serve. Up front, Betty Boos. And Slater pounds one down for side out, Lady Knights.
20 to serve 24. All they're got to do is get a side out and it's over.
That'll work for me. Stein. Baker with the dig. Mortimer comes to the net, tips it on over. Boos. That's a lift, and that's a point Minneapolis as Slater could not dig it out. As Mortimer right there with the stuff. And that's the way it ends. Minneapolis will take the first match in 3. 25-20 here in the third game. So Minneapolis is taking 3 games to get this first match under their belt, but victorious, and we'll take it.
So if you are listening either on the internet or live on Eagle Community Channel 8, we'll be back in approximately an hour, say 7-ish. Got the B-team contest coming up. Depends on how that goes. Thanks for listening. We'll be back. Welcome back, Minneapolis junior senior high school fans, to Salina, Kansas Sacred Heart Gymnasium. We are getting ready for
match number 2.
Second match, that's right. That's some introductions this time.
And your home team, the Sacred Heart Knights.
As we mentioned earlier, Sacred Heart not starting, I think, 2 of their starters due to disciplinary reasons. Losker will not start, neither will Dahl.
In order to provide a healthy environment and to set a proper example for
As Dale mentioned to me earlier, a lot of these girls playing this varsity match, 2 or 3 of them played the whole junior varsity match also, so they possibly could be getting retired, we're going to have a quick prayer before we start this match. And we'll pause for that.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Loving God, we ask your blessing on our volleyball contest here this evening. We thank you for giving us the physical and spiritual strength, stamina, and talent that has brought both these teams here tonight. Bless the players, the coaches, the referees, and all here present. Give to all of us the spirit of enthusiasm and fairness, of effort and playfulness, of understanding and respect. May our participation in this event this evening give you glory and praise. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Please join us as we sing our national anthem, conducted by Dr. Frank Trace, Director of Bands.
Nice KSU rendition of the national anthem there.
And now for tonight's starters. First, for the visiting team, the Minneapolis.
It had to have been K-State.
Yep, it was.
Starting for Minneapolis, Riley Baker, the outside, number 6, hitter. Sacred Heart.
Senior number 2, Autumn Slater.
Autumn Slater getting the nod for the Lady Knights. Minneapolis in the middle. Kenzie Mortimer, number 12. Setter for Sacred Heart, Betty Booth. J.C. Crossan. The other medal. Excuse me, the outside. Kate Stein, number 4 for Sacred Heart. Kara Frazier, the outside hitter. Taylor Cack. Well, at least I've been pronouncing your last name right. Will start for Sacred Heart. Setter for Minneapolis, Kelsey Page. And I've been pronouncing hers wrong. That's Pollen, not Palin. So, Allie Steinbrock, the other setter, and plays middle blocker. And for Sacred Heart, number 7. Well, I think somebody's got a different number on Kate Stein, but I didn't see 22 Sarah Wilkins, so maybe Wilkins has a different number on the home whites. Anyway, we're ready to go.
It looks like the
second match of the night.
Suspended players will stay suspended, at least for now, for the Knights. And they did not suspend the line judge on the south end of the court, Mike. We kind of thought that might happen, but it didn't.
No, he's back for more. So it's Stein, Booz, Slater, Pollen, Wilkins, And the other Stein. No, that's definitely Wilkins wearing number 7 this time around. No 22 out there, so I'll have to adjust. Minneapolis libero is Ashlyn Macy. And we're about ready to go.
Sacred Heart will serve, I guess. Because Macy's in as a libero.
We're assuming that. I think you're right, Dale. Except for I always thought the visiting team hit first, but not in this case. Tonight. Referee still checking the alignment of the Sacred Heart Lady Knights. 4 is Stein, 7 is Wilkins. Boost to lead it off. Petty's first serve. Hit the tape, glanced on over, and
Page caught it in the face.
Page gets the facial. 1-0 Sacred Heart. Those are nasty when they hit the tape like that and bounded on over. Kelsey was anticipating that one to be a little bit lower than that as she was ready for the dig. Now, Allie Steinbrock. Service is over in good shape. Pass went backwards, but we attack from the back line as Allie's able to put the hammer on it. Here's a set. Baker in the outside. It hit the rafter. You can play it.
It just came down at a real odd angle, and they couldn't get to it.
As long as it doesn't go over.
Into the net.
Steinbrock. Not a good pass there by Sacred Heart, and that one's going out the back line. Point. Lady Lions, Steinbrock still serving. Nice serve. Betty Boost was in the net and over the line both, and it is called.
4-1.
4-2 as that serve goes in the net. And as I mentioned earlier, Minneapolis not serving extremely well tonight. A little dunker there is dug out by Macy, and a big hit by Baker goes out the back line.
Well, I won't say anything. It almost looked into me, but I'll refrain.
Taylor Cack serving for Sacred Heart. Nice pass by Steinbrock. Back. They dig that up, and we get a hand on it, but our pass goes out of bounds. They dunk one in, and we can't get to it. 4-4. Riley just bumps that one over as we are having problems on the back line. What a block by Mortimer. And she has had a couple nice ones here tonight. Stuff kill over there on the far side. Has Mackenzie Mortimer right there for the block. Ashlyn Macy's serve is right on the money. And we get a hand on that attack of Slater's. Another nice block, this time by Crossan. And that was tipped on the way across as Baker slams one cross court.
Well, the side judge over there said didn't see it tipped. She asked the line judge back. She says, I don't know.
Goodness. We all saw it up here. Kind of surprising 4 of them down there didn't see it.
5-all.
Ole Miss hit there as JC comes to the net. We have to put that point behind us and move on as Sacred Heart gets the call. As we could see, it was deflected as it went through there. Crossan puts a nice hammer on that one. Steinbrock sets from the back row, and they recover nicely. And that one goes out the back line.
7-5 Knights with the serve.
Slater and Steinbrock attacks from the 10-foot line. We get a nice block at the net by Crossan. There we go. Baker puts it down. And an excellent spot vacated by the defense. And she'll go to the service line. Riley Baker.
6 serving 7.
Boos with the set. And we tipped it. It looked like it was going out. It's hard to tell after we got a hand on it. 8-6 Sacred Heart. Attack from behind the back line. Allie Steinbrock with a kill from the back line. Now Kelsey Page.
7 serving 8.
Boos with a nice set on the back side. Stein right there.
On the line. We have somebody who's on the
Somebody's
line.
in the net.
Sacred Heart with 2-point lead, serving 9-7.
Side out to the Lady Knights. That one doesn't get over. As Sarah Wilkins serve goes in the net. Cack with the pass to Stein on the front row. She bumps it over, back set to Steinbrock. Down it goes.
That one out.
But out. And the service right back to Sacred Heart. Stein at the service line. And the tip by Steinbrock. That's out. As Baker watched it sail wide and out of bounds. And Kara Frazier. Jump serve goes way out the back. Stein makes an attempt to get there, but her pass is out of bounds. Point Minneapolis. (10-10). Jump serve by Kara Frazier. Slater with a big bash is handled on the back line by Frazier. Now Baker gets one to the back row. Nice save by Ashlyn Macy and a great running save over at the wall by Kelsey Page. And there's a stop kill by Mortimer and Steinbrock. Boy, that net plate is so important. And when you've got 2 blockers like that right in front of them, it's tough.
11-10 Minneapolis.
Nice serve by Kara Frazier. Now Slater, and what a dig.
In the net or over the line by Sacred Heart, one of the two.
She came across and tackled Allie.
Oh, well, I'd call it too if I saw it, but I didn't see it. 12 to serve 10.
That one's in the net. That pass, not good, as Stein had to come get that one. Now Kara Frazier still serving for Minneapolis. Jump serve for the back row. Stein's there with a not so good pass, and Betty Boost just bumps it over. Now the back set to Steinbrock. It's going down. Allie Steinbrock with a kill, and Coach Whitman wants a timeout. Minneapolis jumps out to a 4-point lead, 14-10. We'll be back right after this quick 1-minute timeout.
R&J Tax Services, the most dependable tax service in Salina, is open every Monday through Friday, 52 weeks out of the year. Have tax questions? Call R&J Tax Services in Salina.
At Robertson Monument, they believe that supporting community activities is very important. That's why they're sponsors of Lion Sports. Minneapolis is a great town to live in, and Robertson Monument hopes you make it to as many games as possible.
Welcome back. The 4-point advantage by the Lions.
Kara Frazier still serving for Big Blue. She's having a pretty good go of it here with her jump serve. That's in good shape too, and they should have called that as a 2-hit as it crawls up the arm of Stein. Or, excuse me, Wilkins. Another nice serve by Frazier. In the middle.
That was shifty.
Slater should have been a lift as she misdirected the ball with her hand. It wasn't a tip. Called earlier by the white-haired gentleman. But
11 serving 15.
Steinbrock with the set. It's overpass. Right into the hands of the Lady Knights.
12 serving 15.
Betty Booth. It's out. Good eye by Ashlyn Macy as she watched that one sail long. 16-12, Steinbrock. Very nice serve. Good defense as Minneapolis staying on top of things on that back row. Kelsey with a great set, and Baker pounds it off the chest of Cack. Page sets Mortimer in the middle. It's in the net. They recover nicely though, but
under the net. There you go.
Holland is under the net. 17-12. Steinbrock with a nice scorching serve, and there's a nice block by Page right at the antenna as they tried to knock it on across. It hits the antenna. It's out of bounds. Point Minneapolis. It's a set by Betty Booth. The outside hit by Holland is in the net.
12.
No momentum is on our side right now, Dale. We might as well finish it out, huh?
That's right. Take it home.
In the net. That attack by Cack.
And Rose Whitman
in the
takes
net.
the timeout for the Knights.
Coach Whitman wants a timeout. Minneapolis leading 20-12. First game of the second match. And we'll be back after this quick 1-minute timeout.
State Bank of Delphus and Glasgow and the Ottawa County Bank in Minneapolis are locally owned community banks committed to making your banking experience as easy and personal as possible. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Todd and Shelley Wilson with Wilson Shields Funeral Home offer affordability and dignity. They know that the Minneapolis Lions will have a great season and want to wish them the best. Wilson Shields Funeral Home, our family serving your family.
Welcome back to Salina, Kansas.
Well, we're on a roll here, Dale.
Roll 'em, roll 'em, roll 'em.
Steinbrock at the service line for Minneapolis. Over in good shape. Boos with the set. That should have been a 4-hit. I didn't think it cleared the tape. We were there to block, but it goes right back on their side. 21-12. Steinbrock reels off another one. Macy on the back line takes care of that one. They tip it on over as Slater finds an opening in the Minneapolis defense, and Cack goes to the service line for Sacred Heart.
13 serving 21.
Set to Mortimer, and she pops it on over, and there's a nice block.
And they block back.
They block it right back to our side, and it falls.
14 serving 21.
Cack serving for Sacred Heart. Frazier's pass catches Steinbrock right where we want her, right at the back line, and she is very effective hitting from the back line.
22 serving 14.
Macy serving for Minneapolis. Boos with the set. Well, he called it out.
That could have gone the other way.
It could have gone the other way. I was going to say that's probably one of the closer ones he's had. Net serve, it goes over. 23-14, Minneapolis 9-point lead. And there's a tape shot, drops in right in front of our back line. Point Sacred Heart.
15 to serve 23.
Slater back to the back line to serve. That one was almost headed out. Back set to Baker. In the net it goes. Oh, nice save by Betty Boos. There's a stuff. Crossing right there to keep that one from coming over. Jace right on top of things there. And we're at game point here in the second match. Riley Baker to serve. Boos with the set. We block at the net. It falls out over the out of bounds, and Page just cannot get to it. Point and side out to Sacred Heart. Pollen. Nice pass by Riley. The set's right on the money, and Jace hammers it down, but Pollen on the back line. We stick out a hand to save that one, but it goes way out of bounds, and Sacred Heart is serving.
17 serving 24.
Not a good pass from our back line.
Minneapolis takes a timeout. Leading 24-18. Trying to get this game point taken care of here. We'll be back.
A car accident? High winds damaged your property? To protect you, the Scott Osherman Agency is the place to go. American Family Insurance has been providing security and peace of mind for over 80 years. Call the Scott Osherman Agency in Minneapolis, your American Family Insurance agent.
But Dale, the races have been pretty exciting. Last weekend he had a pretty good deal out there, and 6 different classes.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't past midnight when it got over. That was even better.
24-18, Sacred Heart trailing by 6. The serve is over Macy right there. Now the set. Frazier on the outside is blocked. There's the left.
19 to serve 24. Let's get her hammered down, girls. Get it taken care of.
I think the girls will find if they gather themselves, they'll have time for a pass. From the back row, Allie Steinbrock with a big hit. We block. Crossing.
Well, they tipped it, didn't they? I guess it was the net. That
I think it was the net that time. I'm thinking you're right.
20 serving net. 24.
They block. My, what a recovery.
And that does it.
And then it goes out of bounds, and that is the game. Minneapolis takes it 25-20. You know, the score of about every game has been 25-20.
Mm-hmm.
25-21, 25-20. So Minneapolis takes that one. And we'll line up for the second game of the second match here in just a minute.
We'll be back. The Lions get the serve this time.
Frazier to lead it off. Jump serve in good shape. Sacred Heart can't get a pass to the front row. It goes in the net. And Cack can't dig it out. 1-0 Minneapolis. Nice serve, Kara. Outside attack by Riley Baker. Minneapolis seems to be doing a little better here. Has the tip by Steinbrock, drops in, point, Minneapolis. I just see better passes and better attacks at the net.
Wasn't a push.
Wasn't called. There's another one, drops right in. Keep it up, 3-0 Minneapolis. Betty backs at Slater, and she gets it across. It's a tape shot, drops in right in front of our defense. Go ahead.
1 to serve 3.
Betty Boos. Serve. Just a wonderful job on the pass. The setup was just perfect. As Page took the pass from the back line, got it right up there, and the set was right on the money. Baker just hammers it down. Steinbrock. That would be an ace. Right down the line it goes, and they cannot get to it. Allie Steinbrock, as I mentioned earlier, probably Minneapolis' most consistent server last year, and is maintaining that this year as Baker right there for the block, but it's not going over.
6 to serve 1.
Another nice serve by Allie. Frazier right there for the dig on the back line. That's going off the ceiling. They play it. Nice recovery by the Lady Knights. Mortimer set in the middle, and the middle was wide open, and she just pounds it right down to the floor. Kinsey Mortimer.
Seven to serve 1.
That pass goes over by Sacred Heart. Now Baker comes to the net. Miss hit just a little bit, goes in the net. Side out to Sacred Heart. Frazier with a nice pass. Page bumps it up, and Ashley Macy comes to get it. Nice block at the net by our setter. Frazier gets it over. Tipped by...
Blocker misjudged the...
Yes. Tipped just barely by... She was 22.
8 to 2, Minneapolis.
Betty Boos. Set goes backwards.
Good block.
Nice
Stein.
block.
Not Winstein.
Wilkins. Trouble with her name for some reason. Wilkins with a nice stuff right there.
3
Now
serving.
Slater. Macy with a nice pass to Page from the back row. Frazier with a nice attack. That's not going over. Wilkins with the hit into the net. And the side out to Minneapolis. Riley Baker back at the service line. Wilkins just bumps it over. Crossing, she says, give me a shot at that, and they do, and she just pounds it down. Nice block by Sacred Heart, but it drops on Lady Knight's side, and Minneapolis jumps out to a 10-3 lead, and Coach Whitman wants a timeout. We'll take one too. Minneapolis leading 10-3 in the second game of the second match.
Bennett Autoplex supports the Minneapolis Lions. At Bennett Autoplex Salina, you'll find a small-town family atmosphere with great prices on new and used cars, new GMC trucks and SUVs. Serving their customers since 1957, Bennett Autoplex Salina.
CNR Plating and Kevin's crew would like to take this time to thank their many friends and customers for making their business what it is today. CNR Plating, a Lions sports backer, wants to wish the Minneapolis Lions a great season. CNR Plating, a Lions sports backer.
Welcome back. The Lions leading 10-3 in this second game of the second match. We might get to go home early tonight if this keeps up. Huh?
2 and out, maybe. Minneapolis took the first game 25-20, and they're leading here almost halfway through the second game of this second match.
Can't count the chickens yet, though.
Baker's serve is over in good shape. We get a hand on it at the net. Set to Frazier. Back set to Cack. Baker with another shot, cross-court ace that's handled by Sacred Heart. Now a good set. Steinbrock there to save it. Oh, nice block by J.C. Crossan. Right there at the net to get the point.
11 serving 3.
Baker rears back and pounds it over. Wilkins comes to get that one. Set in the middle, Crossan off the arm of Boos. Sacred Heart in the net is the call. Baker still serving. Crawls up the arm of Cack. That's out.
Almost hit the line judge. He had to do some quick feet to keep from getting killed on that one, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
It's going to be 4 serving 12 here for the Knights.
Nice dig by Baker. She came to get that one. Crossan rears back and pounds it to the back row. Slater bumps it over. Now a good set. Crossan. Oh, what a stuff. By Stein on the slam.
5
and side out
12.
to Sacred Heart. Pollan with the serve. Steinbrock from behind the back line with a nice attack. That's out of bounds. Wilkins. Hits it out of bounds. And we got a new player, number 12 coming in. And number 1, Donmeyer in, and Williams, Hillary Williams in for the first time. Boos with the set in the middle. Slater hits out. 14-5. Williams up front and Donmeyer on the back row. There's Slater with a nice bump to Boos. Nice attack. And we cannot get it over. Nice try by Allie Steinbrock over here for the save. (14-6). Minneapolis leading. Nice dig by Ashley. Baker with an attack. Back set by Page. Steinbrock with a nice attempt. Terrible pass from the back row, and we cannot recover from the bad pass.
7 to serve 14 here.
And it goes out of bounds. Williams. Our pass goes over.
And they kill it.
And they kill it. That's what happens when you get the overpass. if it goes over, they're right there to hammer it down. Any good volleyball team is that way.
8 to serve 14.
Hillary Williams serving for Sacred Heart. Decent serve. Back set, Crossan, she puts it down. JC Crossan with a good set from Page.
Mortimer subs in for Macy. 15 serving 8.
JC with a good serve, dug out by Slater. Now Frazier. But Sacred Heart is in the net. Stein in the net.
Or the other. 16 to serve 8.
That was headed up. They took it. Now Minneapolis on the attack. Back set, Steinbrock. Oh, big block by Stein, but it goes way out of bounds.
$17 to serve 8.
Crossan still serving for Minneapolis. Stein there for the kill, but Page goes under the net. Yep. Or over the line, one or the other.
9 serving 17.
Her momentum caught her there as she was making tracks for that pass. Steinbrock. Oh, Mortimer.
Well, she laid that one flat, didn't she?
Yes, she did. Mackenzie Mortimer from the outside pounds it down, and Sacred Heart not able to dig that up. It goes out of bounds. Kara Frazier. Jump serve. Not a good pass. And Sacred Heart Lady Knights cannot recover from that. You know, that all-important first pass, and if it goes the wrong direction, it just throws your whole scheme of things out the window, and you're just at a recovery stage then.
19.
Sacred Heart with a timeout, and Minneapolis leading 19-9. We'll be right back.
City Pharmacy has brought you quality professional pharmaceuticals since 1963. Joe and Amber Wool will help you with your medications, durable medical equipment, cosmetics, gifts, and greeting cards. Your hometown pharmacy, City Pharmacy in downtown Minneapolis.
Eagle Communications, home of ECTV, high-speed internet, 910 KINA News Talk and 99 KG Country, proud sponsors of Lions sports coverage. Listen to the live broadcast on 910KINA.com or on your local Eagle Cable Channel 8.
Here we go, Minneapolis trying to finish this thing off. And 2 here, leading quite comfortably here by 10 points. Kara Frazier. Jump serve. Oh, nice serve. Wilkins.
New substitution for
having little problems on the back row. Holland back in. Nice dig by Williams. Nice stuff by Steinbrock. Baker comes to the net with authority and pounds it down, but Stein is right there, and